Thank you. I'm Mr. Lehner. Welcome back to another glorious episode of Mr. Lehner's Math Extravaganza. Today's episode, we're going to focus on how to add integers. To add integers, one method you might choose to use is using a number line. This is very helpful when we're focusing on our integers, where we're adding them together. If I have a problem that says 3 plus a negative 6, if I use a number line, I would start at the first number. So I would find positive 3 on my number line. And I'm adding negative 6 to that. So I'm going to hop back 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I ended at negative 3. So a positive 3 plus a negative 6 would be negative 3. Again, I didn't skip the 0. When I counted from 3 and I did my 1, 2, 3, I made sure I still counted that tally in the middle where the 0 is at. Let's take a look at another example. If I have negative 9 plus 8, well, now I'm going to start at negative 9 because that's my first number, and it says I'm going to go positive 8 spaces. Well, positive is going to go to the right. So if I'm at negative 9, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm ending at negative 1. So a negative 9 plus 8 equals a negative 1. Third example here, negative 4 plus 7. If I start at negative 4, I'm going to add 7 to that number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I end at a positive 3. So a negative 4 plus 7 equals 3. Let's take a look at one more example. If I start at positive 6, and I'm going to add negative 6 to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my answer would be 0. So again, when we're working with our number line, to the left is going to be negative numbers, to the right is going to be positive numbers. Another way to think of it is kind of like temperature. If I have a thermometer, the negatives are going to be below 0. The positives are going to be above 0. As we're kind of getting into winter now, it's kind of like thinking if it's negative 4 degrees outside here and the temperature increases 7 degrees, it would be 3 degrees. Or if the temperature was negative 9 degrees outside and the temperature increased 8 degrees, it would be negative 1 degrees. So that might be another way to helpfully think about how these numbers or integers actually work. Next, I'm going to show you guys another strategy. Another way you might want to do this is using counters. If I have the problem 4 plus a negative 3, I might choose to actually draw out counters. Whoop, and the answer kind of popped up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 positive counters. And negative 3 counters. We're going to do our 0 pairs. These guys are paired up. Here's a positive and a negative. Here's a positive and a negative. And I'm left with positive 1. So again, I used counters to draw out to see what my total would be. I had 4 positives. I added 3 negatives to the total. I used my 0 pairs, a positive and a negative, and I'm left with positive 1. Let's take a look at one more example using counters. If I have negative 2 plus a negative 3, I'm going to draw out my negative 2 counters. I'm going to draw out my negative 3 counters. I have no 0 pairs because there's no positive to pair it up with. So a negative 2 plus a negative 3, my total is negative 5. And again, this was using the strategy of using counters. Now, I've given you 2 different strategies you could have used. You could have used a number line. You could have also used the counters. What I'd like you guys to do is, again, favorite part of the video, pause that video, go ahead and get that paper, get that pencil, and I'd like you guys to try these 4 problems. It might be helpful to alternate each one. Use a number line for one, use a counter for another one, and then decide which one you think is best for you. In these problems, you should have had negative 4 plus 10 is going to equal a positive 6. Again, I like to think of it like temperature. If I have negative 9 degrees and I'm adding a negative 5 degrees to it, it's going to be negative 14 degrees outside. A positive 6, and the temperature then drops 7 degrees. The total degrees is going to be negative 1. And lastly, a negative 12 plus a positive 5 is going to equal a negative 7. Again, using some type of model is sometimes the easiest way to do this, like a number line or our counters that we use. So again, choosing which one is easiest for you may be the best method for you. Thank you for tuning in to another example of miscellaneous math extravaganza. We'll see you next time.